Hey, what's going on, peeps? Welcome to day 11 of the 31 Days of Horror. Derek here, bringing you something new and exciting as usual. What I got for you guys today is a film from 2015, and it's a horror comedy per se. It's from the creator of Flight of the Conchords. If you guys don't know what that is, it was a TV show that was on the air. I believe HBO aired it, and I don't think it's on the air anymore, but I actually haven't seen this show, so I'm looking at this as a non-fan of that show, which is kind of the way you have to go into like certain things because you don't know what you're expected. In my studies, and what I got for you is called "What We Do in the Shadows." See that right there? It's pretty much it starts out like a documentary. It's kind of in the vein of like Waiting for Guffman or Best in Show or This Is Spinal Tap. If you've seen any of those films, you know it's like a mockumentary. It has like characters that you follow, like film crews and stuff documenting it while it happens. That's pretty much the gist of what's going on in the way they filmed this film. It basically follows you're in a flat, and it follows four flatmates, and they're all vampires, and they all have different looks and streets and attitudes, and they're pretty funny. I'll be honest. I'll get into that more later with my thoughts. But pretty much what happens is they're getting ready to like go into this big society thing, where like all these like undead, like vampires, zombies, they all meet up and have like a party in Shingding per se, like a costume masquerade party. That's pretty much what the film follows, these vampires as they prepare and what they do in their everyday life up to this event. Now, my main thoughts on it, because that's much, since it's a mockumentary, I don't really want to go into much of the plot of it. Yeah, it's really, really fresh and idea in vampirism. I like how all the characters, like the four main vampires that you follow, do have their own like features. Like there's one that looks like Nosferatu. If you guys know what Nosferatu is, one of the vampires looks like that. He's actually the oldest vampire that lives in the flat. There's a Deacon who's like this playboy, like all-star. He's like wearing flashy clothes and stuff, and he's a wild party boy. And then we have what's actually the director is one of the vampires. Actually, both the directors of this film are vampires in this film. He's like this, like looks like Vlad the Impaler kind of. They actually funny because they have like they should tell their backstories of the vampires, like three of the main ones besides the Nosferatu one. And his was like he used to poke his victims with a stick while he's torturing them. It was actually funny. I forget his name. It's like Vladimir or something. It's close to Vlad the Impaler, but it's called Vladimir the Poker. I believe that's his name in the film. It was really funny. Yeah, and it's not just vampires either. They have like a lot of like mythical, like like creatures that we know in the horror community. Like there's zombies in this film. There's werewolves, and they all interact with these four vampires throughout. And there's also like they actually have servants, and they're pretty funny because they pretty much they like do their bidding. Like they go take their clothes to the dry cleaners to get the blood stains off. It's pretty funny if you think about it. Like the way the servants deal with it, and there's some funny like quirky scenes throughout it. It's really well acted and funny in my opinion. It's because I like these mockumentary type films like This Is Spinal Tap and Best in Show, because it really like if you think about it, like especially with those type of films, like that stuff really happens. They do documentaries about those type of thing, so it was kind of funny and neat that they did like the same with monsters and vampires and zombies and stuff. It was really interesting how they melded into like the real world. And one thing we want to talk about, this film does have a lot of blood in it. Like there's one scene in particular where one of the vampires actually hits the main artery of one of his victims, and this blood just squirts everywhere. It's fucking hilarious. And he puts newspaper all around the room, trying not to get blood on his clothes and his stuff. It just happens anyways. It's fucking funny as hell. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this film. If you like films like This Is Spinal Tap and Waiting for Guffman, or if you just like, if you are a fan of Flight of the Conchords, I've never seen the show personally, you probably would like this. And if you're like a fan of like horror comedies and vampire films in general, you'd really enjoy this too, because it's really funny and quirky. It has some good effects, awesome special effects in this film. For like, I forget to mention this is a New Zealand film, so it has like the dry, quirky like New Zealand humor in it also, which I do enjoy, because I do like the films of Peter Jackson and Housebound, which was the year before. Those were more like dark comedies. It's kind of cool to see what a New Zealand person would do with straight comedy. And it's really funny and quirky. I do highly recommend this. If I had to rate What We Do in the Shadows, I'll give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. That's how much I enjoyed this film. It's really fun. Characters made it what it was, and I really highly enjoyed it. I do recommend you check this out, guys, if you like films like this. Highly enjoyed it. Recommend it. What a blast. Alright, guys, that's all I got for you for day 11. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to review. Hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and comment if you have seen What We Do in the Shadows, and I'd like to hear what your opinions are on the film. So leave some comments. See you tomorrow, guys. Peace out.